Hi guys! So in the last few blogs I talked quite a lot about mindful eating and about allowing your child to listen to their own hunger and fullness cues, and I'm a really big fan of a concept that I would like to tell you a little bit more about today. It's called the division of responsibilities, and it basically divides the responsibilities of providing food and eating food into your and your kids' responsibilities. So your responsibilities would be what goes on the table, when are meals and snacks served, and where does the family eat. And your child's responsibilities are how much are they eating and whether they are eating at all of the foods you have offered. So let's look into this in a little bit more detail. You are deciding what goes on the table. That means you don't want to be a short order cook. Equally, you don't want to cook a new meal if your child doesn't like the food you're offering. No, you decide what goes on the table. Just make sure you always offer one of each of the big food groups. So there's always a source of protein, a source of carbohydrates and fat, as well as one fruit or vegetable. And always make sure you offer at least one familiar food that you know your child likes, and try to offer new foods as often as possible. Next, you decide when meals and snacks are served. So when it comes to the timeline, every child is a little bit different. Just make sure your child comes to the table hungry, but not famished. And lastly, you decide where the family eats. The perfect setting for meal times is the family table, so sitting down with everyone around the table. And the perfect setting for snacks is also a sit down at a table. And that creates a calm environment without any distractions, so kids can really be aware of the foods they are eating. So your child's responsibilities, how much they are eating. Now that might mean that they eat a whole lot one day and hardly anything the next day, or it might even go through whole phases where they eat a whole lot for weeks and then they don't hardly touch their food the next few weeks. It is their choice, so leave it up to them and try not to interfere, try not to push them to eat more, and equally try not to restrict them to get them to eat less. And next they decide whether they eat from the foods you have offered. So let's, for example, say you offered one of each of the big food groups, so a chicken breast for protein, some rice for carbohydrates, a vegetable and yogurt for fat. And your child decides only to eat the chicken breast and the yogurt on that day or for that meal. So they eat a whole lot of protein and fat, but not really any carbohydrates. It's up to them again. So they will get their carbohydrates in the next meal or maybe the next day, and it will balance out over the week. So again, try not to interfere and let them choose the foods they want to eat that meal time or that snack time. And that's the division of responsibility. So it is always important to remember kids grow at different rates and healthy bodies come in all different shapes and sizes. So rather than focusing on body weight, try to celebrate the unique qualities of your child and teach them to value and love themselves.